Good evening, those who are joining us live on YouTube. I'm very happy for the company. We are doing our last masterclass series session. I hope that you've been able to enjoy the other two. And it's been my pleasure to serve you in this way. I don't think I've publicly taught goal setting. I've taught it in, closed Zoom meetings with my smaller group of ladies. And so this is a first, but I hope that because I put it public, at least for right now, you've been able to gain a lot. So I hope for us to be able to finish and finish well. So allow me to share my screens. All right, there we go. I had said when I was teaching you in session 1 that I'm going to be on and off camera. And I hope that I am on camera today so that you can be able to see the person who's been talking behind the scenes. I hope that even though you are not seeing me, you've been able to learn something. You've been able to be inspired by the 3 Bible characters who are the ones who are going to inform our theme for 2026. Those who've been with me for a long time know that we've used so many Bible characters. I think we've used Zacchaeus, we've used the lady with the issue of blood, we've used Ruth and Naomi, we've used very many Rebecca and Isaac as characters. We've read those passages and we've been inspired to set goals and come up with a theme. So being able to bring this to many more people, more than the small circle of influence that I have, it's been a joy. Of course, I've been nervous, but at the same time, I'm grateful for the feedback that I've been receiving. And so as we go into this last session, I hope that you enjoy, I hope that you're encouraged, and I hope that you're already starting to change the way you think. Because like we learned in session 1, and I reminded you in session 2, that when we change the way we think, it is only then that we are going to know what God's will is for our life. And his will is good, his will is pleasant, his will is perfect. And so thank you very much. I've seen that we are live. Good. All right. So I love goal setting season. It's one of those wonderful times of the year. I know for some people, it's setting up the Christmas trees and the Christmas decorations. I think for me, once I've done the goal setting masterclass with my group, then I usually feel like now we can close the year very well. And so this is truly a most wonderful time of the year for me. So I know people from my circle have been able to bring in new people today. So allow me to just quickly just introduce myself. I am Wairimu, the Audacity mentor. I'm a Christian-based mom mindset and life mentor, and I'm also an author. And I help moms who are prioritizing their personal growth. And we work together so that we can design and help you pursue a life that you desire and that God approves. And you do this without compromising your faith or family. And so if that's something that is a goal for you in the coming year, I would love to be part of your program. So like I said, I have a book. I have made sure that I've put in a link in the description of this video. So please make sure that you go support my work, buy a copy of this Akaba Award-winning book. So far, we've been able to get settled. We've been able to set the groundwork so that now you're thinking differently. You're thinking through the lives of the 3 main characters that we looked into when we were doing the passages and the people. And now we are doing positioning because the work is only beginning. The work to set goals and to also start crushing them in the new year has just begun. But we've made sure we are ready. We've made sure that we've laid the groundwork. So for those who've been able to follow this series, allow me to welcome you back. So let's check in a little bit as a summary or just review of where we've been. So when we started, I asked these 3 questions. Are you growth-centered? Do you love learning? Are you future-focused? And I hope that you answered at least one of these. You said yes. My hope is you said all 3. The answers were yes. But just in case it's just the one, then you're still in the right place. And I hope that you're starting to think differently around your life and seeing even if you grow an inch, it is still okay. It is still growth. Even if you unlearning some things. It's still part of the growth process. And then future focus just means you don't dwell on what has passed, if there are mistakes that you have made. And I hope that when you are doing the reflection questions, you notice there are things that you may have done wrong, or there are opportunities that you did not seize that would have made November 2025, they would have put you in a different place. But at the end of the day, that is past. Now we have to keep being future focused. And now we are thinking about 2026. And so we are going to be full throttle. We are going to be hopeful. Yeah, that's how we are going to go. So have you completed the pause and reflect question? Because so far, I think there are 2 key pause and reflect questions. And then there are many, many self-reflection questions that we did in the last session. Allow me to just, again, help you understand why doing self-reflection is very important. When we were closing the other session, I talked about mindset, and I was able to define using Dr. Carol Leaf, the way she defines mindset, just a cluster of thoughts around some information. And so allow me to just emphasize the importance of reflecting. So perspective is deeply tied to mindset, because the way she was defining mindset is you have a cluster of thoughts around some information, and all those come together to form our perspective and how we see the world and how we see things. Perspective is deeply tied to mindset. So through reflection, what we do is that we shift from a fixed mindset, and a fixed mindset sees things in black and white, to a growth mindset where we recognize the potential for change and improvement. So we reflect on our successes and failures, and we don't see them as endpoints. We don't say, I failed, I'm a failure. That's very fixed mindset. Or I'm very successful. That's very, we are only as good as our last success, but we want to keep stretching ourselves so that we even experience more successes. So when you have a growth mindset, you don't see success or failure as an endpoint. You see it as part of a bigger and larger journey of personal growth. So this shift in mindset can open you up to new possibilities and also encourage you to approach challenges with resilience and also creativity. And this I got from a LinkedIn article that was in the wrong newsletter. And I hope this is helping you also. Don't ignore all those reflection questions that we made, cause you to think different, cause you to go deeper, cause you to be honest with yourself. And so again, like I did in the past session, if you haven't yet completed those pause and reflect questions or the many self-reflection questions from last time, it would be of benefit to do so. So like I said, the time is now. I'm going to unveil for you the theme. Once I'm done with the check-in and just a short summary of what we've been up to up until this time, because I'm not going to last. Like I said, the second session was the longest. This one is just closing off together so that we have one theme, one focus, something that we can all say we've been taught through the lives of Deborah, of Jael, and of Barak. They've taught us this, and we are going to claim that for our lives and for our goal crushing and our goal getting processes in the coming year. So what did we say about goal setting? We said that goal setting is a here to there process. We said that there's where we are and there's where we want to go. And so while you're here, this is the place where you envision, how do I want to find there as? What is the vision that I'm having? And then you create what we called a gap filler plan, all right? It's a here to there process, okay? And then from the definition that I shared, which you have to watch the others so that you're able to get the full definition, but I was able to extract these 4 as a summary of the goal setting definition. And we said there are these 4 things. You think, you map, you commit, you achieve. You think, you map, you commit, you achieve. And we're going to go through these steps, not too much, but enough for you to start thinking about the goals that you're going to set for the coming year. We also went through 2 contexts, one context passage, and one core passage. And we read that from Judges 3 and also Judges 4 was our core passage. Sorry for the error in that slide. And the characters that inspired us are Deborah, Jael, and Barak. And I hope you enjoy reading about them, researching about them. I really enjoyed just going deep. I know as a group with some ladies, when I was starting coaching, we did Jael. because the way I used to do it is every time before we did class, we used to study a lady in the Bible. So we did Jael was one of my earlier ladies, and it was nice discovering more about her, and especially seeing this in the form of goal crushing and having a vision and going after it. So I hope that these three will make you think differently about 2026. We also ended by reminding ourselves, and this is not the theme, this is just a fact, that the battle belongs to the Lord. Something that you can continually say, because some of these statements, when we say it's a statement of fact, the battle does not belong to us. You saw when we were reading the context passage through Ehud's life, the battle was not Ehud's, the battle belonged to the Lord. Through Deborah and Barak's experience, the battle belonged to the Lord. And when we were finishing, even with Jael, the battle belonged to the Lord. And that's why the last part of Judges 4 was saying, but God, it was the Lord. It was the Lord, and he won, and he chooses who he's going to use. So after going those through the context and core passages, I hope that you got a character that inspired you. And I had asked for you to share in the comments. Please do that even after this. I know maybe right now you want to concentrate on what we are sharing today, but consider just sharing with me. Let's see how many were inspired by Jael, Deborah, Barak, all of them. But we agreed we are going to write in order of who comes first and who will come third. And also just sharing what has moved you to boldly pursue a God-approved life going ahead in 2026. I also just took you through to make sure that what we promised will happen during the masterclass series is actually what has happened. So I hope that so far you've understood the passages, you've understood the key characters, you've done all the reflection questions, the pause and reflect, and also the self-reflection questions. And you've also started thinking about how 2025 has been, the things that brought you joy and the things that caused you to even cry, to pause, to feel discouraged, all those things. Reflect upon them, write them down, be honest. I think I kept repeating that in the other sessions, be honest. And now what we are doing is going a little further and saying we have to start dreaming forward, because God is going to gift us with a new year. And if he allows us to live all the 365 days, then we are going to honor him by making sure that we plug into his plan and his path for our lives. So we've already done that. We had promised that you're going to be inspired by 3 ordinary people. I hope that already happened. You're going to realize the importance of setting goals. I think that will be done in today's class and a bit in session 2. I hope that you've started embracing a hopeful posture, especially when you're thinking about your life vision going forward. And the theme that we're going to share today is going to bring that all together, including the takeaways, the lessons. We already did one lesson in the last session. Today we do the others. And we live with a sort of draft. I think I'll call it a draft of a draft, because what I'm going to teach you is not how to set goals. My desire through this masterclass was to just change the way you think and to help you have a hopeful posture, so that when you're going for the webinars that are going to be there, the vision board parties, and there are so many experts will help you set goals, that you'll have already done the hard work, and the hard work is changing the way you think. And once you're prepared, once you're hopeful, then it will be very easy for you to set goals and to think about your future and to have a clear mental picture, because that's what a vision is, very clear. There's no hesitation. Remember in the first session, when we were talking about here to there, we looked outside and we said, we are not going to work. And we had a vision and we created the steps and we were able to realize our vision. And that's all that goal setting is. But everything needs to be sorted in the mind first before it can be actualized in reality. And so today we are doing positioning. So welcome to part 2. So positioning. I love this picture. I've really enjoyed working with AI, and I had said I want a trophy that has an O, because I'm the Audacity mentor and I want to encourage you to be audacious warriors in 2026. And we want a crown, we want a gift, we want a trophy at the end. We want to claim the win because we thought differently, we did differently, we went after the things that we desire and the things that are pleasing to us and also approved by God. And so what is positioning? Because it's very easy for me to just say we are getting started and our topic or this session is on positioning. What is positioning? What do I mean? I mean that we're going to design and put into place a clear and strategic plan. And then that clear and strategic plan, you organize it in a way that makes it actionable and achievable in the best way to realize your life vision and then eventually live out the life that you desire and that God approves. So what we are doing today is making sure that we have a draft of a draft. And for those who've already been thinking about 2026, you probably live with a plan of 2026 that is in alignment. It's not fighting with your life vision. It's not fighting with what that mental picture that you have of how you want end of December 2026 to be. Next year, at a time like this, what story do you want to tell? Because the ladies and I, last year, at a time like this, we were together, like I said, in session 2, and we were just saying how we just wanted to hang on to hope. That's all. And we are going to hang on to hope, even if things don't look as bright, but we are going to hold on to hope. And I can tell you, we have so many testimonies. Not everything worked, but the things that we held on and we kept trying and trying. We'd rather try, remember, with mindset is when you fail, when you don't achieve the thing that you want, it doesn't mean that that's the end point. It's learning. It's saying, what would I have done better? Was it because of me? Because that's what we kept doing throughout the year. The things that you've not been able to achieve, is it because of you? Are the excuses legitimate, or you're just coming up with something so that you feel good about it? So positioning is being in that place where we put a clear and strategic plan, right? A clear and strategic plan. And so to be able to achieve the objectives, I'm going to unveil. I won't keep you for too long. We're going to unveil the 2026 theme, and then I share the takeaways. I hope you remember how I said I share my takeaways with hashtag, isn't it? Hashtag, and then I tell you what the lesson is, but you're going to see it in the slide. And then I have one bonus takeaway just so that we'll actually have 11 lessons that you can pick from the story of Deborah, of Jael, and of Barak. All right, so our very first one was your posture to pursue your goals in 2026 must be strategic and action-centered. Your posture to pursue your goals in 2026 must be strategic and action-centered. Now, when I was studying strategic management, one of the things our teachers kept saying is that because we were being taught to create strategic plans for organizations, and one of the things they kept saying is the reason why you're creating a strategic plan and not just any other plan is you need to give an edge to your organization. So when you are creating your life plan, when you're creating your goals for 2026, and we are saying make sure that they are strategic, is asking yourself, what will give me an edge? Yeah, what will give me an advantage? What will make the things that I want to achieve best work? So strategic just means think about it in form of giving yourself a competitive advantage and edge. What will help me actualize my goals even faster than I would have? What's the best route to take? And then action-centered means it's not just good on paper that you're going to do the work that you have said you're going to do. So our posture, the way we are going to show up in 2026 is strategic and action-centered. And so make sure that if you're using that one pager, that you've written down the first lesson. So let's get started. I hope you're continuing to sharpen your axe. We used the Abraham Lincoln quote that was saying, when you are told to cut a tree, you take 4 hours out of those to sharpen the axe. Sharpen the axe so that then it will be easy going forward. The hard work is the thinking, is the mapping. Being able to achieve and being able to commit throughout the year, that's almost the easier part. But this one, the planning, the thinking, the writing down your goals, that's the hard part. That's the one for the sharpening the axe. And once you do that, this will be true in your life, that what you desire is truly, truly within reach. So why should we have a theme? I don't know whether, like my church, our church, we always have a theme. I don't know whether it happens. Why should you have a theme? There are organizations also that have maybe quarterly theme. Why should we have a theme? These are just basic, but I hope they help so that you know why it is that session 3 is all about unveiling a theme, because it provides direction. Like I said, the little group that we are in, because we had a theme, because we had something, we kept reminding ourselves, this year in 2025, we're going to relentlessly pursue hope. This year, we're going to relentlessly pursue hope. Even if you may not see it, but you keep telling yourself and you keep trying, you keep going. Even if it's crawling, we said we are still going to keep going. So a theme provides direction. A theme provides focus so that if there are distractions and disruptions, they are not going to hold you back. You're going to stay focused on your goal. You're going to stay focused on the things that you desire. It also causes us to have a personal call to action so that in those times when we are low and feeling like victims, feeling like the whole world is against us at that point, you remember, I'm going to continuously pursue hope. That was our 2025 one, relentlessly. Even if it doesn't make sense, we will just be hopeful. Give it a theme gives resolve, and it also strengthens one's commitment. Remember, we said the number 3 and 4 part of the goal setting process, or even the goal getting process, is being able to be motivated and committed. That's not easy. To stay committed to your plan, it's not very easy. But when you have a theme, when you have a focus, then you have something that consistently is top of mind, that reminds you, even when you want to lose hope, even when the timings may not be the best, or the resources are not working together, that you're still going to hold on to faith. It's a continuous reminder of why you believe in something. So without further ado, I hope you now understand why we have a theme. So without further ado, allow me to introduce our theme for 2026. Drum rolls, please. This was fun last year. Victory assured. This is our theme for 2026. Victory assured. I feel so nice to finally let it out, because sometimes when I was doing the sessions, I was almost saying, I hope your heart will feel good, but mostly I hope that throughout 2026, even when things don't go right, you're going to say, but God, victory is assured for me. When things go right, it's a confirmation that victory is assured. Even if it doesn't happen in 26, you'll have laid the groundwork because you have a vision that God has put in your mind and you're working together with Him. He's already assured the victory. What we are doing is doing the hard work. As you saw with Barak, you saw with Deborah, you saw with Jael, God had already said, victory is assured. But now they had to go and actually do the work. And that's why we were saying in 2026, we have to be action-centered. Yeah, we are not just going to say good things, have nice plans. We're going to make sure that we actualize them. So like, for example, this is Judges 4:14. It says, then Deborah said to Barak, get ready. This is the day the Lord will give you victory over Sisera, for the Lord is marching ahead of you. So the win was already promised. They just needed to do the work. So every day throughout 2026, keep reminding the Lord, God, you have assured me of victory, and I am going to go into this battle. Remember, the battle belongs to the Lord. He's already won the battle for you, but we need to go, we need to charge. There was another verse in our context passage when Ehud was talking to his people and he said, follow me, for the Lord has given you victory over Moab, your enemy. So in these two passages, the one that was our context passage and the one that was our core passage, victory was already assured. They just needed to now go and do the work and get the work done, get the work completed. And because I said we are not going to lose hope, or we are not going to say we are going to throw away our 2025 theme, I found a way to put it in there. The reason why we are going to say our theme is victory assured is because it gives us a reason to hope. Because the win is already secured. What we are doing is the hard work. God is using our hands, He's using our legs, He's using our mind, He's using us in whatever life situations that we are going to be in. And He's already said the battle is won. Hold on to hope. So in the same way we had relentlessly pursued hope, and especially the ladies who we are in the same accountability group, this is just a reminder. Let's continue holding on to hope. Why? the reason now that we are even holding on to hope even more is because victory is assured. And talking about hope, what is hope? Because I think it's used a lot now. It's very, very common. But biblical hope not only desires something good for the future, because when somebody says, I hope they get well, I hope they are okay, you're just desiring something good for somebody or for the future. But when we are talking about hope and biblical hope, the desiring God, and I've put the link there below, it expects it to happen. So when we are saying that victory is assured and we are going to hold on to hope, we have a reason to hope, is because we expect that assurance to come true. When 𝗚CCM was defeated, when Jabin and the chariots were all destroyed, God had already said the win has happened, but they got to see it. So God tells us to expect victory. Yeah. And that's how we are going to go into 2026. And biblical hope not only expects it to happen, it is confident that it will happen. And so for all the things that God has been putting in your mind, that go and work hard, go into that organization and tell them what you're good at. Just go forth knowing that victory is assured. And especially where you've been sitting down, you've been quiet, and the Lord has helped you come up with what the desires of your heart are, and that you're going to put them down on paper. So what are the calls to actions that were in Judges? The topics that I'm giving you now, the ones in comment bubbles, other versions of the Bible, the same verse. You see that part that says, get ready. This is the day the Lord will give you victory over 𝗚C. In other versions of the Bible, there was the word go. Instead of get ready, it was saying go. Instead of get ready, it was saying up. Instead of get ready, it was saying rise, attack, spring into action, move on. It's time, arise. And I feel like that's what God is telling us. He's saying victory is assured, but go. Victory is assured, but rise, attack, spring into action, move on. It's time, arise. That's what God is telling you. What are those dreams that have been lingering over and over and over again that you've not been going for because you're feeling it's not time, I don't have the resources, I'm not ready, I'm fearful, I'm hesitating. All those things God is reminding us in 2026, let's go up, rise, attack, spring into action, move on, get ready. It's time, arise. So I have a question for you, ladies. Will you be an audacious warrior in 2026? Will you be an audacious warrior in 2026? Because that's what is demanded of us. When Ehud went, he went as a warrior, not just as a judge. When Deborah and Barak went, they went as we are fighting this for our people and for the victory and for the name of the Lord to be praised. Everybody in the passages that we read went forth. They were ready. They went up. They moved on. They attacked. They did all these things. What about you? The things that you want, will you go after them? Will you be an audacious warrior in 2026? So this is our first lesson. So now we are going into the lessons. Now that we know that victory is assured, that's our theme for this year, the coming year. Your posture to pursue your goals in 2026 must be with a fearless warrior mindset. Must be with a fearless warrior mindset. And I was trying to see what does fearless mean? Fearless as a word in itself. And it's just saying you tap into courage, you tap into confidence, and you go after the thing that you want, that you embrace discomfort, that yes, I'm a little fearful, yes, I'm a little anxious, but I'll still go for it. Being a fearless person, when we're saying we want to be audacious warrior, it's saying we're going to go confidently, we're going to go courageously, not because there's no hint of fear, but because victory is assured. So we have to tune our mind, we have to change our mind and know if this is God's will for my life, and God's will is always good, pleasing and perfect. And I feel at the depth of my heart that he wants me to go after 1, 2, 3, then go for it with a fearless warrior mindset. All right. So that's our number 2 lesson, our number 2 takeaway. And I hope that even as I'm taking you through these lessons right now, that you're going to write the ones that are standing out for you. Like Deborah, Barak, and Jael, my response for whatever God requires of me in 2026 will be to say yes. What is God sending you out to do? What are those stretch assignments that he's giving you in 2026? When they come, when the opportunity comes, I hope you're going to say yes. When the opportunity comes, I hope you're going to say yes. And especially those that the Lord requires of you. Why? Because victory is already assured. So when the opportunity comes, God is now putting everything together. It's all working together for your good. But you still have to say yes, and you still have to do the work that is entailed. So that's our number 3 takeaway, or number 3 lesson. Just say yes. Number 4, like Deborah and Jael, these wonderful women, and it's so nice to see powerful women in the Bible, regardless of their position. They are in the Bible. We are reading about them. Generations to come after us, if Jesus will not have returned, they'll read about Deborah and Jael. So like Deborah and Jael, you and I, we will pursue our goals in 2026 without hesitation. Yeah, we are going to pursue our goals in 2026 without hesitation. So whatever God puts in mind, and I hope before December that you'll have at least a draft, a plan of the goals that you want to pursue in 2026. Go for them, especially the ones that are so meaningful, the ones that are important to you, because we may write goals, but if they're not meaningful, we are not going to pursue them. If we have no resolve to go after them fully, we are not going to achieve them. But those ones that they're just meaningful, they're just, we must, so that next year, at a time like this, we'll say, we attacked this without hesitation. I found some 2 quotes because I said I'll be sharing verses and quotes. These are 2. One says, this is by Thomas Henry Huxley, that no good is ever done in this world by hesitation. No good is ever done in this world by hesitation. And another one by Publilis Cyrus, that audacity augments courage, and hesitation, fear. What it means, because I went to check what arguments is, like it makes it greater. So if you have audacity, if you go after the things that you want, it increases your courage, as opposed to just sitting and wondering, being fearful. But if you go for it, if you're audacious, it increases, audacity increases courage, but hesitation increases fear. That's what that quote is saying. So the more you hesitate, the more you fuel your fear. But the more you go for it, the more you're audacious, the more you just go for it. And especially where you're feeling peaceful and you're feeling God-led, it just increases your courage. So I hope we are going to be like Deborah, we're going to be like Jael, and we are going to go after our goals without hesitation. Number 5, like Jael, I will audaciously pursue my goals in 2026, even and especially when I'm underestimated. Did you love how Sisera just underestimated Jael? He just thought, oh, this woman, just give me something to drink. Thank you, covering me, hiding me. And if anybody comes, tell them I'm not here. She was underestimated. She didn't even know God had already said that the battle is going to be won, and it's going to be won by a woman. And God had Jael in mind. She didn't know. And yet, like we said, when you're a wise woman, when you're in tune, especially spiritually in tune, and you have that spiritual insight, you know what God demands of you. So like Jael, even if we are underestimated by anyone, we are still going to go for the goals that are important to us. And let me tell you, ladies, being underestimated is actually to your advantage. Use it strategically, because when somebody thinks that you can't achieve something, you can't amount to something, that's a position of power. And don't tell them, don't need them, just do the work. The results are going to speak for themselves. So like Jael, make sure that even if you're underestimated, especially when for real you're underestimated, just continuously pursue your goals. Why? Victory is assured. Victory is assured. Like Deborah and Barak, may we go after our desires with an audacious pursuit. You know, like we said, we don't want to doubt ourselves. We want to go for it. Once Barak was assured that Deborah is going to be there, they went with the 10,000 men and they followed God's order when they went to Mount Tabor, and they were able to go after this military that was so forceful with their chariots. And, you know, they had the latest war machine at that time, and yet they still went. They were audacious, because sometimes when you're audacious, you don't look bright. You almost want to give you logic. But when you have audacious pursuit, it's something that is so important to you. You go at it courageously, you go at it with confidence. And may we be like that. May we be like Deborah, and may we be like Barak. Why? Because both of them went into this knowing victory is assured. So 2026 is going to be a year of audacious pursuit, okay? And I hope that next year, same time, you can, keep me updated. I love, celebrations of people that I serve. Yeah, come and say, you know what? I audaciously pursued this and it happened. I don't know how. Why? Because victory was already assured, but you did the hard work. You audaciously pursued the thing that you desire. Number 7, like Deborah and Jael, our ladies, I will pursue my goals in 2026, prioritizing faith over fear. Please note, I've used the word prioritizing faith over fear. What am I acknowledging in this lesson? I'm acknowledging that sometimes we'll be fearful. Sometimes the situations that come upon us will make us afraid because we can't see the end. We can't even see a solution, but prioritize faith. Prioritizing faith means even in this situation, even in this place, I'm going to believe that God, the battle is already won for me, and that you're going to give me a solution. You know, when Deborah and Barak and the armies of Israel were going to attack Sisera's group, they probably didn't know that God was going to intervene so powerfully. Like I said, it must, because I think in Judges 5, when Deborah is singing, because she sings in praise and thanksgiving, there's a place where it's like it rained and their chariots were stuck in the mud. They didn't know that was going to happen. They didn't know God was going to come miraculously and do this for them, because they prioritized faith. They may have been afraid, like we saw with Barak at the beginning, but they prioritized believing what God has said over the fear that they are feeling. So as you go into 2026 and you start crushing your goals, when you reach that point where fear is overwhelming because you cannot see any solution in sight, please remember to ask God or claim a promise of God and just stay strong. And wherever He leads you, just know victory is already assured because the battle is His. Number 8, like Deborah, Barak, and Jael, I will pursue my goals in 2026, prioritizing action over perfection. I know there's a lot of us who want everything to be perfect, everything to work together. Because for Barak, maybe he wanted, even as we need chariots, they have 900, even as we need the same, making sure everything works before you take action. No, we are saying take action over perfection. Why? Because sometimes perfection can be the obstacle. This wanting everything must work out well. That number 1, it must go 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes it may be 4, but take action. Because if these characters that we were reading about waited for things to be perfect, we would not be reading their stories. But they took action. They went. They were told go. They were told arise. They were told move on. All those things that we read in the various versions of the Bible, they were told get ready, and they went. Action over perfection. Number 9, I will zealously pursue my goals in 2026 by trusting in God. And I'm not saying that you don't increase your skill set. I'm not saying that you don't trust in your capabilities, in your expertise. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying go forward knowing that it is God who's made you capable. It's God who's made sure that you're in the right rooms at the right time, who has brought the right opportunities your way. And that if anybody asks you to do something, and especially where you feel it's right, where you feel it's in tune, it's plugged into God's plan for your life, trust Him in the midst of that battle, however the battle looks like. That's number 9, because again, the battle belongs to the Lord. So number 10, and then I'll give you the bonus one. I will pursue my goals in 2026 like I know and like I believe that the battle belongs to the Lord. That's how we are going to show up. How will we prove that we know that victory is assured? Is by showing up like we know the battle belongs to the Lord. There are things that you can take action on, and there are things that you need divine intervention from the Lord. But in the end, let us go with God ahead of us. The Bible reminds us that we need to seek ye first the kingdom of God, and then everything else will come. Let's put God at the forefront of our lives, even in 2026. And that order that was given, that go, rise, attack, arise, it's time, move on. I've tweaked it a bit for you, saying, get ready. This is the year the Lord will give you victory, for the Lord is marching ahead of you. Claim it. Get ready. This is the year the Lord will give you victory, for the Lord is marching ahead of you. What is that you need the Lord to go ahead of you? Mention it. Yeah. Don't leave it. Like we said in session 2, listen, 𝗚𝗏 What is it? Write all those things down and then go after your goals. Even if you have one goal the whole year, it is okay. Just get ready. This is the year the Lord will give you victory. So what's my bonus? My bonus lesson, don't go it alone. Don't go it alone. Deborah didn't, Barak didn't, Ehud didn't. Always go for a team. Yeah. Look for people. When Jael finished what she did, she went out and she told them, come. Deborah and Barak went to attack. Ehud, after he's done, he went and called his people and they went. Don't go it alone. Find people who are trustworthy. Find people who will listen to you, who will not judge you, who will encourage you when you're down. People who are not going to rejoice during your misfortunes and get upset or jealous when you are succeeding. Go allow the Lord to lead you to the right caliber of people who will celebrate with you, but don't go it alone. Sometimes when we're in this place of when we are going it alone, that's when now instead of faith, there's fear. But when you're in a place where you can be encouraged by people, then you feel, that motisha, that excitement, that encouragement, that reminder that remember the battle belongs to the Lord. Remember that victory is assured. Don't go it alone. May the Lord lead you to the right people. I'm glad that I'm surrounded by people who are a wonderful support system, whether it's in terms of family and also the ladies that I work with. I'm very grateful. It's not everybody who has this story, but I can tell you, because I don't go it alone, then I'm able to even push myself, because I can't be mark timing and always saying the battle belongs to the Lord, but I'm doing nothing about it. Let's not go it alone. That's the bonus lesson that I'm going to give you.